Hey everybody, this is Manny from Art with Manny, and thank you once again for joining us. I have a special guest today, and I'm going to let her introduce herself. So, who are you? What's your name?
I am Lexi.
Okay, and what are we going to be doing today?
We are going to be drawing Red, which is a character from Angry Birds.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty exciting. So in the interest of time, we've already outlined the drawings. So we're primarily going to be focusing on coloring Red. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what we're also going to do is we're going to experiment with different medium and different tools. So yeah, join us and let's see how it goes. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about the materials and the tools that we used to create our artworks. But first, Lexi, let's tell our audience how old you are. So, how old are you?
I am turning 7.
That is awesome. That is so awesome. And so what did you use for your drawing? What did you use to color in red?
Markers and color pencils.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I mainly used color pencils. I only used markers for his eyebrows, which you will see in a bit. But I mainly just predominantly used color pencils to shade and to color in red. And how long did it take for you to finish yours?
I would say about 20 minutes.
Well, it took a lot longer than 20 minutes for me, but I think you did a good job, and I think everyone will agree. A few handy tips when working with color pencils. Tip number 1, always make sure that your color pencils are well sharpened. A well sharpened color pencil does go a long way in helping you shade well and create detail when needed. It just gives you a lot of control, especially when working with very complex or very detailed parts of your artwork. So I recommend having a sharpener nearby and keeping those pencils sharpened. Tip number 2, be patient. Always exercise patience when working with your artwork. There are times when things don't work out and you feel frustrated. Whenever you feel that way, rather walk away and just take time to think about what you're doing, collect your thoughts, and come back. But it's very important that when you feel frustration and when things are not working out, maybe take some time to go practice on a different piece of paper or on a different medium, look at a different frame of reference, study the subject that you're painting or that you're drawing, and once you're comfortable with the outcome of the practice that you've been doing, and once you feel confident again, then come back to your drawing and finish it off. But whatever you do not finish your drawing feeling frustrated, and do not ruin it by just being impatient. Be patient. And the last tip for the day is enjoy yourself. It's a process that's meant to be enjoyed, and it's the main reason why we artists do what we do. We do it for the love of it. So I encourage you, in everything that we do as far as art is concerned, don't forget to have a good time. And we are done. This was fun. What did you think?
Yeah, it was fun.
It was pretty good, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about Lexi's one first. So Lexi, why don't you show the camera what you've been doing? That's pretty good, eh? Okay. Yep, that's Lexi's one. This is mine. Great. So, Lexi, what did you use to color red in?
Pencils and markers.
Okay. What did you use more?
Markers.
Markers. Okay. Why did you use markers? Why did you decide to use markers?
Because I thought that I will make a better job.
Okay. Oh, fair enough. Markers do color in quite well. I mean, they have a very solid color and solid pigment, so you know they're really good. But one thing you have to be careful of when using markers is choosing the right paper to color on. So, for example, Lexi has an 80-gram paper, which is ordinary paper. And you can see that it gets a bit, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but it comes through the paper. Especially when you're using it, you have to allow it to dry a bit. And then once it's dried, that's when you can go over it with color pencils if you want to enhance the coloring. But you just want to be very careful with using markers with normal ordinary paper. I've got a 200 gram and I think it'll do better on a thick paper. I've got sketch pad, so I did use a bit of marker as well. So for example, Red's eyebrows, those were colored in with a black marker, and then I just went over that with a color pencil, with a white color pencil. Lexi did a fantastic job, I think, in coloring in and making sure that the colors stayed within the outlines, and she tried to also produce a bit of detail, which is very important because that's really what makes the difference in your pieces. It's the little highlights, the little details that you put in. Like for example, if you look at, I don't know if you can see it, but if you look at the little pupils, Lexi used an acrylic marker. You want to show them what that looks like? So that's an acrylic marker, and it's used for things like this, you know, trying to create highlights and trying to put in detail. And she also tried to put a bit of highlight on the beak. And there are little bits and pieces here and there where she also tried to create some depth, like some dark shading around the eyes, by the feet, by the legs, and under the wings. And I think it's really, really good. So you've done super, super well. You should be proud of yourself. All right. And yeah, I mainly worked on this piece with mainly color pencils. I just used color pencils. It's just the eyebrows that I used a marker in, and works pretty well. You just have to know when to use markers and when not to use them. And in this case, like I mentioned before, I'm just using Faber-Castell's entry-level brand. I mean, entry-level set of markers. So really nothing special, but in this case, they did the job. So there you have it, folks. This was really good. I really enjoyed that. Mm-hmm. So, who should we work on next? Smurfs. That's a good one, because with Smurfs they're blue, so from a coloring in point of view, that's perfect. And they're smooth. They're not feathers or hair or fur, so a lot easier to color in. Who else can you think of that we can color in? Minions. That's a good one. Anyone else?
They can choose.
All right, there we go. So why don't you guys help us choose a character? Help us find a character. Comment below, tell us what you think. Comment below with your characters as well. Give us some ideas that we can work on. and would love to hear what you guys have to say. So yeah, that's it. Until next time, cheers, and don't forget to like and subscribe.